Hey guys, this is E with Scrapbooking with Me, and this is what we're going to make today. This is another Mother's Day gift, or it would be really good for a teacher appreciation gift to give to its teacher at the end of the year. They're really, really sturdy. It's made with chipboard, and it's a little vase. It's a little vase like this. It has little feet on there, the flat back pearls, and then the flowers are all glued in so that they don't fall out. But that is what we're going to make. It looks complicated, but it's not. It's very, very simple. And this is not my original idea. This idea come from the Posh Paper Lady, and I'm going to leave her link, her channel link below. She has just started a channel not too many months ago, and she is so talented. I want you guys to go over and check her out. But this was totally inspired by her project that she did. I changed it just a little bit, but not much. Everything she did, I absolutely loved. So I'm going to leave that link below, and let's get started on this project. So what you're going to do is start out with a piece of paper that is 7 3/4 by 11. And on the 11-inch side, you're going to score at 2.5. And sorry if you can hear my cricket going. I'm cutting some things for another project. And okay, 2.5, 5, 7.5, and then at 10. So that's 2.5, 5, 7.5, and 10. Then you're going to turn it one turn, and you're going to score at 2 1/4. Right there, 2 1/4. Okay, that's all the scoring that we're going to do right now. Now you can go ahead and fold and burnish your score lines. Okay, now on this part right here, you're going to take away this triangle because you do not need that. That's the only one you're going to cut away. So let me grab some scissors. And I'm going to cut that at a little bit of an angle, like that. And then I'm going to cut this up here at just a tiny bit of an angle. We're going to angle these just a little bit. So I'm just taking a little sliver off of them and cut up on those score lines, and then I'll come back and do my wedging, angling, or what you want to call it. I think sometimes I say wedge and sometimes I say angle. So just take a little bit off of each side. This is just so it'll go together better. No biggie. Doesn't have to be perfect. Okay, and then one more right here. There we go. Okay, so that is that. That's what you're going to have right there. And I may angle this one just a tiny bit more. When I look at it in the camera, it don't look like it's angled, so we're going to take a little bit more off of it. There we go. Now what you're going to need is, we're going to make this an extra strong vase. So what you're going to need is 4 pieces of chipboard. Now this is a lightweight chipboard. If you don't have this, you can use cereal boxes. Just glue 2 pieces of the cereal box together and cut it out. Cardboard boxes, you can use just about anything. If you don't have anything like that and you just have paper, cardstock, just glue 2 or 3 pieces of cardstock together to make this stronger. These are cut at 2 3/8 by 5 3/8. And let me make sure that I'm telling you right, because I've got some different ones cut. 2 3/8 by 5 3/8, yes. So 2 3/8 by 5 3/8, and you need 4 of them. And what you're going to do is, in between these score lines, you're just going to lay this piece of chipboard down in there. Glue it down right there. Glue each one down. We're going to glue 3 down first, and then we'll go from there. And I'm just going to use some score tape on this because I know the score tape is going to hold it really tight, not let it shift or move. And it won't break loose if it dries, that kind of thing. Because I want my mamas to be able to use these, set them up and use them. So we're just going to put score tape on all of the pieces on the back. So we're just going to pull the backing off of this score tape, and we're going to start it right down at the bottom at that score line. Don't go over it, just go right up to it, and then place it in between those score lines that are right there, just like that. Just make sure that everything is still going to fold. And I do have some that are white pieces of chipboard. They don't have to be. I just use my scraps. I don't waste any of it. I try to use all of my scraps up. So some of them will be white on one side, some of them won't be. There we go, right there. And I just go again and make sure it folds. See, this one's not. This one's just regular. Okay, just like that. So there is your 4 pieces of chipboard in there. And that's going to make this vase a lot stronger. Now we're going to put some score tape on this tab right here. And I'm going to put it right up at the score line, and then one out away from the score line. So I'm going to put 2 pieces there, just so that we can make sure we get this glued together really, really well. And you can use wet glue on this. I had someone on that project that I did yesterday say, well, I don't have double-sided tape, so I can't do the project. Yes, you can. I used this for convenience sake and to make it a little bit faster for camera purposes, but you can definitely use your art glitter glue, your strong adhesive. You can definitely use something besides score tape. This is just for my convenience and to make it a little bit quicker for the camera. Okay, now what we're going to do, we put it together right there. Well, where did I put it together? Right there. So we're going to make this the front piece. We're going to fold those over. We're going to put some adhesive right here. And I'm going to go to my art glitter glue. Make that stick. Because we're going to put another piece on top of this. So it doesn't have to be, this piece doesn't have to be really, really strong right here, what we're gluing together. But we want to make sure that we can maneuver it just a little bit in case we don't get it straight. So that's why it's good to use a wet glue on the bottom. Now you just want to look down in there and make sure that you've got your box fairly squared up. And it looks like we do. I'm just going to take my Tim Holtz ruler down in there and press everything down well. Okay. Now this piece of chipboard is going to need to slide right down in there. So we're going to put some, we're going to take the backing off of this and slide it right down in there. And it should slide right in beside those other pieces. The reason we wait and do this last is because of how we glued it together. So just slide that one. There we go. Down in there like that. Take your bone folder and give it a squish. And there you go. You've got all your chipboard in there and you've got a nice sturdy vase. Now, while we're covering, we're going to go ahead and cover this piece. This is going to be the bottom to kind of put on there like that. So this piece is cut at 2 3/4 by 2 3/4, and then the piece that we're covering it with is cut at, let's see, 3 3/4 by 3 3/4. And all we're going to do is I am going to put some score tape on the back of this. Here again, you can use your glue, art glitter glue, or some other type glue that's pretty strong. Use that on there if you want. You don't have to use this. And then we're just going to take the backing off, score tape. And I'm I'm just going to lay that right in the center as close as I can. Doesn't have to be perfect. This is just going to cover the chipboard. What we're going to do now is we're going to take our scoring tool and you're going to run it around the edges like you do when you're covering a mini album. This will help break the fiber down in that paper and keep the paper from cracking when we fold it around. So do that all the way around. Okay. Then I tilt it up and I rock it. You know, you've seen me do this many times. And then we're going to cut these little corners. Now you need to leave about 3/8 of an inch from the edge of your chipboard out. And if you are unsure what 3/8 of an inch is, just take you another piece of chipboard and lay it down there and draw your little line and cut that. So just leave a little bit. And I cut mine kind of in a circle. I don't cut it, or an oval. I don't cut it straight because I like to have plenty to fold over. There we go. Now I'm going to put my double-sided adhesive right here. I also had someone ask where I got all of my supplies, and I do get those through our store, and that store link is below. We have score tape, we have all these tools, just about everything that I'm using we have. So that's just for the people that have been asking, where do I get all of my supplies? That's where I get them. We don't carry as much now as we did, just simply because I had to cut back a little bit. My husband hadn't been feeling well, and so we just had to cut back on some of our work because we don't have a lot of employees. We just have me, my husband, and our 2 girls and our granddaughter and grandson. So we don't have a bunch of employees, and they don't work all the time, of course. The kids are in school. So we had to cut back a little bit this year. So that's why we started doing the kits, because we still wanted to give a good product, but we just didn't have time to carry as many supplies as we used to. So this little piece right here, we're going to cover the bottom of that with. This piece is cut at 2.5 by 2.5, and we're going to put that right there. And I know I have been promising you guys a schedule and some lives and different things, and I do want to get to that point, but it has just been crazy around here lately with my husband not feeling well. He's the one that will have to help me with my lives as far as answering questions and watching the comments and that kind of thing, and he's not been feeling well enough to do that. So it's hard for me to schedule with him having the problems that he does. He's had open heart surgery, kidney failure. He's had stents put in. He has high blood pressure. He's diabetic and congestive heart failure. I mean, he just has a lot of problems, and so it's hard for me to schedule around all of his sicknesses. I hope you guys understand that. Now you're going to need 4 pieces of a good pattern paper that are cut at, let me see, 2.5 by 7.5. Let me make sure I cut these right. I always like to double check. 2.5 by 7.5, yes. And then what I did is I just took them, and this is the side I want to use on the front, and I just ran it. I took my ruler and I just put behind it to kind of make it do a little bit of a curve. This is going to be similar to the basket that we made on the outside. So you're going to curve 3 pieces. You're not going to curve the 4th one, the one that you're going to use on the back. It's just going to be left flat. And we're going to start right down here on the bottom. And what you want to do is put a little bit of glue on the bottom down here. Just glue across. And then you're going to take the bottom of this paper and you're just going to press it down, making sure that it's nice and even, that bottom part and the sides. Just hold it there for a second. Okay, then you're going to go to one of the sides, do the same thing. We're just gluing at the bottom right now. Here again, just make sure it's even at the bottom and even on the sides. It should be the exact width of your box. Okay, then we're going to go over to this side and do the same thing. So we're doing 3 sides, and then we'll have the back. Okay, now before I fix these sides, I'm going to go ahead and glue this back piece straight down. You're not going to puff it, you're going to glue it straight down. So we're going to put some adhesive on here. Okay, just like that. Now, for the sides and the front, what you're going to do is you're going to take this paper, and I'm going to show you from this angle. You're going to take it and kind of push it up like that so that you'll have a little bow in your paper. And then you're going to glue that top down. So we're going to put some glue right here. So I'm looking in the camera to see if I've got about the bow that I want. That's about what I want right there. So then I'm just going to make sure it's even and glue that down. Got that one. Now we're going to do the other 3 the same way. Put a good amount of glue there. And then I'm just going to hold it from the side and kind of check my other one and see if I've got about the same bow in them. That's that one. Yeah, I think that'll work right there. So we're going to hold that down till that glue catches. Okay, then we're going to do this one. And again, about the same amount of bow, so you can kind of look from one side to the other. And I'm looking in the camera, so that's what we have so far. Look at that, isn't that cute? Now, you were saying, why in the world are these sticking up? Well, they're not going to stick up for long. As soon as the glue dries on this, we're going to fold them over to the inside. But we're going to let that glue dry really well first, so I'm going to set that aside. Now you're going to need another piece of chipboard. And this piece you're going to cut at 2 3/8 by 8. And let me see. Then you're going to need a piece of that cardstock that we used that is cut at 2 3/8, and then I just left it at 12 inches. And that's going to cover this chipboard right here. And what I did is I took a pen, and I just, like a pink pen, and I just covered the sides of my chipboard. You can go ahead and try to cover all of this if you want, but it's going to make it a little bit bulky because we're going to slide this down in the back of our vase. So I just took a pen and colored that on the sides. That will work fine. Now we're going to pull this off. And then I'm going to put some art glitter glue over this just so that I'll have a little bit of wiggle room, because it's going to be hard for me to get that down first time right. So put your art glitter glue over the score tape, or you could have just used art glitter glue altogether. You don't have to use score tape. And then I'm just going to lay it down. Try to go as straight up through there as I can. See, that art glitter glue just gives me room to pull it back up and work with it. There we go. That's good. Alright, now you're gonna, I put a little bit of adhesive on the back, just part way down, because part of this bottom is gonna stick down in the back, so you're not gonna need it all the way down. Not going to need to cover it all the way. So then I'm putting a little bit of art glitter glue here. And then I'm just going to fold this piece over, pulling it down just like that. There we go. So we've got that piece covered. So we'll lay that aside a minute and let that dry. And I think these should be dry by now. So what we're going to do, I'm going to fold them out a little bit so I can get my glue on them. So we're going to start right here and we're going to cover this with adhesive. And we're going to fold that over to the inside and press it down. Now, you're not going to be able to lay this flat to press on here, so just hold it up and press the best that you can. Because if you lay it flat, you're going to mess up your little bow places in your vase. Okay, I'm going to fold that one in there. Now up here at the top, just go over that with your flat edge of your bone folder, and it'll give it that flat edge for your vase. And then here we're going to do this one. And see, we're covering the part of the chipboard that's going to show as we do this. So killing two birds with one stone. Again, just fold it over in there. Okay, so there is our vase so far. Isn't that cute? Now what we're going to do before we do anything else is we're going to put this little bottom piece on. So I'm going to glue it. Sit that on there and hopefully get it somewhat near straight. So there's your little bottom piece on there. Now you can put feet on here if you want to. I will have to look and see if I have anything that I can put on there. So I am going to take my pickup tool. This is a little picker, and I'm going to put these little beads, these flat back pearls, on the bottom. And I'm just going to use some hot glue. Okay, now it has some cute little feet to sit on. And this is a double-ended picker. This one's for tiny little pearls, and then this one's for larger ones. And it has the covers to go over that. Now this piece is nice and dry now, so we're going to take it and hopefully see if it will slide down in there. And it did. Slid down in there. Make sure that I get it all the way back as I can. There we go. So I am just going to, I'm just going to put some hot glue down in here. I'm just going to kind of drop it down in there. And then I am going to press that up against it and lay it on its back and just press that down really well in there. Go. Got that. Make sure that looks good. Yep, that looks good. I'll let you see it from the side. So that's going to be kind of the background for our flowers that we're going to put on. So we're going to set that aside, but you can see there's the base. Isn't that pretty? And then we're going to go ahead, while our leaves are cutting, we're going to go ahead and put our flowers together. Now these are my flowers that I cut out on my Cricut. If you don't have a Cricut, I'm sure you probably got a punch that you can use. So I'm going to put a large one, a medium, and a small. And this is my Cricut mat. I'm just leaving them on my mat while I pick them up. That way it'll be a little bit easier for me. Like that. And this is out of that same paper that I did the front. I'm just using the back side so that everything's going to blend. And then we're going to use some bling for the center. So I'm just going to pull one up. Put it down right there. You could also use buttons on the center of these, and they're really cute. So let's see if you can see that. And then you can just fluff your little petals up once you get all of them ready. Just go around and fluff your petals up. Like that. There's a flower. So I'm going to go ahead and make the others of these, and then we'll be right back. Okay, we have our flowers finished, and I will fluff them up again once I get everything in the little vase. But I have just cut some floral wire, and this is just plain old cheap floral wire that I get at Walmart. I usually keep a little bit around, and I'm going to put these picks on the back of here. So I'm just going to use some hot glue, and I'm going to put a little dollop there, and I'm just going to press that in. And then since I've cut extra flowers, I'm just going to put that flower right on top of that, and that will cover up where that floral wire is there and make the front and the back look good. So we're going to go ahead and stick all of these on our picks. And I've just cut them in different lengths, my floral wire. And then I have cut some little pieces of greenery, and we're just going to put those on one of the picks as well, just so that we can put those up in there. Okay, and then I'm going to take some of these others here, and I'm just going to glue them to the back of the flower, just kind of like that. Alright, now we're ready to put these in our vase, and the only thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put a piece of this styrofoam block down in there. Just going to put lots of glue on the bottom of it, so hopefully it won't move once I get it down in there. Then we're just going to start putting our flowers in and arranging them. And some of the picks I may have to trim off, some I may have to do some adjusting on, but we're just going to go with it and see what we've got. The shorter ones we'll put in the front, and the longer ones we'll put in the back. Okay, so we have them arranged something like that, and we're going to go ahead and glue these in so that they won't move. So I'll let you see, and I will probably do some more arranging and adjusting with them as I glue them in. I may even take out a little bit of the greenery. It seems like I got a little bit too much greenery in there. I don't know. But I may adjust some of that, take out some of the greenery, and just go from there. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed this project. All of the measurements will be over on our blog if you just go over there and take a look. And we will talk to you later. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.